Record first. Okay, we are recording. Now I am doing speaker view. And if you're not muted, if you could mute, because it'll pop things around. All right, welcome everyone to the Freedom Family Call. I'm excited about getting together tonight. I had a glorious 2-hour nap today, so I might not go to bed tonight. But actually, what I'm excited about, there's such an excitement in our team right now coming out of Summit. There's always a lift after Summit, but this is like a fire, and I love it. I mean, we already have like 12 people with their tickets, and like 17 people said they're going, and I know we're going to have like a huge group next year compared to like this year, which was awesome too. There was 10 of us. And so I'm grateful. Like, I'm so grateful. And so I asked tonight, because the Thursday after Summit, we always have a team call where people can share kind of their top takeaways. But I'm going to just start by just saying, like, and I've said it before, there is something really valuable about being surrounded. If you are in this business, no matter, I used to say as a business builder, but honestly, as a coach, you get the gift of being able to go to Summit. It is a gift they give us to be able to attend. So if you just love, the workouts, you should go, because there's amazing keynote speakers. You get to work out with the trainers. You hear about all the announcements before they come, and you get to be in the room with amazing people. I mean, there's 20,000 people in the main events, but to get into these small gatherings, we went out to dinner, we met up with friends. Like, it was just a great all around time. And so obviously, if you are a business builder, it should be a non-negotiable, because you go into trainings, and this year's training was the best I've ever seen, because they actually worked really hard to cater it to where you are in your business. The pre-summit training was phenomenal that we got to have with Tracy Morrow. I've been a coach for 6 years, but I signed up right after the summit of that year. And I've been to every summit since. And I also want to preface it by saying, I know it's a financial commitment, and I know it's hard to leave. And I know there are seasons when things come up too. So if you have missed one or not made one, this is no way to make you feel bad. Like, thankfully that's never happened for me. But it's definitely like, it just goes on the calendar. Like, it's just a non-negotiable. I mean, last year, Courtney was in Jerusalem and I was at Summit, and we made it work. It was not easy, but it's non-negotiable for multiple reasons. So I really want to encourage you, and to expect, yes, lots of resistance when you want to go, because you will grow. Like, and in New Orleans, it's going to be fun this year, because the first time we went to New Orleans, we got a house and it was a great experience. We learned a lot of things. This year we're staying in hotels, but the beauty is our team down there has grown. We have more coaches down there than before. So we have a lot of resources from like locals, like, you know what I mean? Like, really help us out. And I'm just excited, y'all. And I'm just grateful. This is a great season. I'm seeing shifts in our company that are they're always positive, but just the way that they're listening even more than ever to coaches, like the promo codes that released, they're doing that because they saw people doing flash sales, and they were trying to find ways for us to be able to help people get started and not spend our own money. The collagen that came out, I mean, that's huge, because how many people it's a thing nowadays, the workouts that they're coming out with all the time. I mean, even the crazy one with the guy who's like swearing, I'm not sure about that one, but my point is, like, if that workout goes south, Carl will learn from it and not do it again. Like, he's always learning and adapting. The bar workout that's coming out, I mean, all of these announcements, peppermint mocha Shakeology, like, I'm excited about that one. Pumpkin's coming back. Vegan beach bars, hello. So I was like, yes, I can eat those and not get sick. Like, but even more than that, I'm gonna, it's just being in the room. And so, we will have another team retreat this year at some point. I'm not sure when yet. If you could plan 2 events, it would be team retreat and summit. The Success Club trip, if you go for it, that's great. That's a bonus. But getting in the room really can make a huge difference in your business, because you also get inspired by some people's stories. Team retreat is for everyone, Angela. So you get inspired by other people's stories, and some people you don't, but you still see that there's a place for everyone. So What I want to share tonight, and everyone's going to share, is their like a personal takeaway and like a business takeaway that they got from Summit. And so I took a lot of notes, and I need to go back and read through them and highlight, because I haven't done it yet. It's actually on my list of things to do in my 14-hour car ride down to New Orleans on Saturday is knit a scarf and review my Summit notes and not kill my children. But, you know, Rachel Hollis spoke and she was great. But the other speaker that spoke, Jade, and I can't think of her last name, but I did record a little bit of her, and I'll post it if I didn't already, because I know I was posting like a million things that day in the team page. As they were announcing stuff, I was just posting and posting. But I'm not going to quote her directly because I don't have it in front of me, but something that she said, or maybe I do, that really struck me personally in my walk and in my place as a coach. And I'm just going to see really quick, because it was that in my journey as a coach, I have grown so much. If you had met me 6 years ago and lined me up side by side to who I am today, the personal growth I've experienced through being a coach is, you can't put a price tag on it. And what she said when she was speaking about kind of, we have a part of our culture that tries to identify who they are and find their niche almost through their wounds in the wrong sort of way nowadays. Like they label themselves and they get stuck. But she found a way for her differences to empower her and then empower other people and to become free. And that's what this has done for me. And she said that we get to be a reflection of what people can be, not perfect, but powerful. And that really, like, I typed it in my phone, like it really hit me, because as a wife, as a mom, as a coach, like personally, her whole, and she played the piano phenomenally, which really touched my heart. But it was just that concept of, I don't have to be perfect, but my story can be powerful. And I can be a reflection of what others can be, just like others can be that for me. So that was a big personal kind of favorite moment, I guess I would say. For the business side, I would say I was sitting in the room with the 2-star and above coaches, getting some training from some of the, like, you know, top leaders. And usually when I'm in that session, I would get overwhelmed because they're like talking about their websites and landing pages and recruiting 5,000 people a day. And this year they didn't. It was a very raw and beautiful atmosphere of sharing, like top coaches that I admire saying, like, I got asked to give this talk today and I didn't feel qualified. And this is why, and this is how I'm working out of these issues and how I'm growing through them. So for the business side, I walked away and I came home and I told Courtney, I felt like the Lord really laid on my heart that I've been kind of playing things safe, and it's okay to trust him and to play a little bigger with him. I mean, obviously, but like to not be afraid. And not that I've never worked my business. I've never not, like, I really haven't ever had a season where I've like not shown up in some capacity, but my mindset has always been shrink yourself, let someone else be big and shrink yourself. And I just felt a calling for our team to be a light in this company. It was like I came home and I told Courtney, like, if I don't do this, I feel like I'm being disobedient, like, because we have such a beautiful calling in this team and they need this light in the company. You know what I mean? Like, from all of us, not just like me, like us. And so there was this like desire of like, I want to be sitting and watching as many of you that want to walk on stage, or I want to bring you to that Team Courage party and you meet all these coaches and you know you belong there and you matter and you're confident, you're comfortable. Like, I want as many women in the room experiencing that freedom and that light and that joy. And so from a business perspective, I felt like I've had a year of January, I was like really on the ball after my training with Josh Coates, and then things kind of fizzled because I got pregnant and very sick. And then I was getting right back into a groove, and then we lost the baby. And then I was like trying to recover from that. And I just felt like this, I don't know, just like a hand on me in a sense of like, there's no real big difference between the people who are teaching and you, except for that you need to learn like the message that you need to later teach. And so it was just a very humbling and scary, because I kind of like was like, when you hear that, you can't ignore it, And so, so those were kind of my two takeaways. And then, I could go on and on because that's just me. So I'm going to share, Rebecca is all dressed up for her date. So she's going to go, and then Angie's going to go. And then whoever else wants to go after, we can just unmute and take turns.
I'm actually out on my date. My husband's so cute. He's outside sitting on a bench. I'm like, you can stay in the car. And he's like, no, it's okay. Yeah, we just had a fabulous dinner. So this was my 5th summit. And Kelly, so much like you, like I signed up right before that first summit, but I remember watching Summit live and watching the CEO talk about the company and seeing everybody and just seeing the atmosphere just was like that solidifying piece that was just like, I know that I'm supposed to be a part of this, and knowing that you're a part of something so much greater than what you probably understand at the moment. So I love Summit every year. This year was probably the most different kind of summit for me. I had very specific things that I was praying for going into Summit, and really felt that I wanted some answers as far as like next steps for me with my business. And I feel like God was so good and did that. And my personal and my business things are kind of go hand in hand. So it's kind of hard for me to separate what would be a personal takeaway and a business takeaway. But for me, the top two are we always hear, you do you, that kind of thing. But for me personally, it was a very specific knowing of there's like ideas that I have, and I'm like, wow, they're great ideas, but I don't know if they're really like, can I really do business that way? And for me, I came away from Summit with, you absolutely can. You just have to trust the process. And so much of what we've learned in business, with all this is that you have to remain consistent. But lately for me and for my family, Paul and I have been talking about this a lot lately, even just with our own health, but it's not just doing things consistently, but it's doing the right things consistently over time. And you have to know what's right for you. And so for me, I feel like I finally have come into this place where I feel like I understand so much more fully of what's right for me, what's right for my family, the season that I'm in, and the vision that I have before me needed to be clearer. And I feel like it is. And so I'm excited. And I haven't felt excited in a long time. So that was really awesome. And then on top of that, the business side, agreed. The training this summit was phenomenal. It was exactly what I needed at the level that I'm at and where I'm at. And it was practical, and it was like nothing was secret. Like everything was just laid out for you, and you could determine whether or not that was something that you wanted to implement or that fit your style, or if it was just something that you could kind of take and run with and make it your own. But I loved it. It was very practical. And so I wish I had my notebook with me, because I just feel like there were so many things that I put, like, the whole little ACT. So I put an A because I want to take action on that, because I'm like, yes, like that is something right now that I need to implement. So I feel like there's a lot of practical takeaways business-wise that I have. And then with the whole, like, knowing that I just need to step forward and do these ideas that I've written down on paper in the past, but have been afraid to do. Watching Jade on stage with the pianist. And I laughed so hard inside, because I'm like, Lord, I'm asking for answers, and you bring so many through a musician, because that's what speaks so much to me. I'm like, you are awesome. So just listening to her and watch her, and her thing was like, she didn't want to do music the way everybody else did music classically. She liked it, but she wanted to make it her own. And so again, that was just God saying, Rebecca, you've got what it takes. Just do it. Like, just do you. You do what I put on the inside of your heart to do, and let me bless that, and let me show you what that can look like. Just that calling to, again, to be a part of something so much bigger than myself. But beyond that, like you said, Kelly, like being a part of this team and knowing that there's such a deep purpose that God has for us in what we do, and the beauty that we can all come and do it in a way that God's gifted us to do it, and spread his light, and all of that. Like, I love that. So overall, I think that was my biggest takeaway. Like, you absolutely have what it takes. You just have to be brave to step forward and do it. And then taking the practical business side of things is, using the vision and implementing, with those business practices and stuff. So I loved Summit this year. I thought it was great.
That's awesome. Thank you. I love that. That's such good stuff. Yeah, I agree. I agree with all of it. Especially, and now I'm thinking of Tracy Moore training where I'm supposed to say, very good. Good stuff. Thank you for sharing. And then not say anything else, which that's a whole other call, y'all. Oh my gosh.
You only have to do that during the official roundtable.
Woo! That's like penance for me. For real. Okay. Angie Bradley, are you on here?
Of course I am.
Well, I see myself because I'm in speaker view. So,
right.
Okay.
Okay. So my biggest business takeaway was that to kind of embrace the idea that I've been given something, that I have a God-given potential, and that it's my responsibility to pass this on. And so it's not, and like you were saying, it takes obedience. This is something we have, we are responsible. We've been given a gift and we have a responsibility to share it, whether or not people decide to do it or not, whether or not, it doesn't matter what their reaction is. That's not my responsibility. And when I went to Summit last year, I got the same thing out of it. Bye, Rebecca. When I went to Summit last year, I got the same thing out of it, that this is my responsibility. I've been given a gift and it's my job to take this and share it. I'm not great at doing that, and I'm not great at, but I realized my personal thing that I got out of this is that I need to show more of me, whether or not that's everybody's cup of tea. I need to be more of me and less of what I think I'm supposed to be. And that's something that is hard because it's much more vulnerable. And that's the thing that I got out of it personally, and I guess professionally in the long run, is that if I can show my enthusiasm for the products and my enthusiasm for my fitness and my enthusiasm for my family and my kids and my marriage and all of those things, that's more of who I am. And I want people to join that, because that's what they're going to get, whether or not they know that. So I probably ought to show that now rather than showing them what I think I should be doing. So those are the two things that I got out of Summit this year. And if you haven't gone, the idea that you can see all these people all working together to get the same goals, and you see the bigger purpose and the bigger picture, it's a struggle every year. I think maybe I shouldn't go this year. Maybe I should just skip. But it's so important, and it's so cool to see that there are people all across the world doing this now. It's not just even in our country, and that they're all working towards the same goals, and that they're all getting the same trainings. Like, they're all in the same, they might not be in the exact same place, but we're all getting it. And it's that unifying factor. Like Rachel Hollis said, this was the biggest group she's ever spoken to. And that's super cool because she speaks to big groups and big MLMs all the time. So if you haven't gone, I really encourage you to go. That's all.
Yay. And she sings a mean Def Leppard.
I do, not Rachel Hollis.
No. Rachel Hollis does not sing a mean Def Leppard.
No, we all sang a mean Def Leppard at one point.
We introduced Elizabeth to a little 80s heavy metal hair.
A little
old people music. A little old people music. Just say it.
Classics. So who would like to go next? Anybody?
Since you guys are talking about me, might as well go. I forgot to prepare something, so I'm just kind of going through my notebook right now. I was too busy with that tracker that we were making, Kelly. But I was actually not supposed to be at Summit this year. I was just supposed to go up for the Thursday training. And then everything literally fell into place for me to stay. So I did. So a couple of the things that I just jotted down that really stuck out to me. One of them was from the Thursday training with Tracy Morrow. And she said, transformation doesn't happen on your team until it happens in your heart. And that really struck me because every time that I say I'm struggling in this business, it's usually because I'm not making my prayer time a priority. I'm not making personal development a priority. I'm usually like hopping around different fitness or nutrition programs and I'm not staying consistent. So, and I always blame other people. I'm like, well, they just won't sign up. I'm not, you know, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing, you know? But that's not gonna, that negativity is not gonna draw people to us. So if there's something that's frustrating you in your business, I would really encourage you to pray about it, to dig into personal development even harder, because you really can't, well, I guess you can't over PD if you're not actually applying the stuff that you're reading. But really try to apply your personal development stuff. And then, let's see, Rachel Hollis said, comparison is the death of momentum. So when you're on a track doing your thing and then you start looking side to side, looking at what other coaches are doing, that's really going to just slow you down. It doesn't matter what they're doing. I love looking at Sarah's goats and watching Angie try to homeschool. Or sorry, not try to homeschool. You do a great job. So sorry. Anyway, but if I'm like focusing on what other coaches are trying to share with the people that they're trying to reach, it's literally not going to do anything for my business. And then, oh, this was a big one. I'm not here to impress. I'm here to impact. That was probably the biggest thing that I remembered from Summit before going through my notes again. I've been saying that to myself every single day, every time that I don't want to make a post, every time that I'm scrolling and I see like, oh, wow, that's a really great post that another coach made. It doesn't matter because whatever I'm going to post that day is going to impact someone differently than, what that coach is posting. And honestly, people aren't following a million Beachbody coaches like we are, which is hard to remember sometimes. And then, okay, the last one. This one's personal for me. Take divorce off the table. I forget who said it. I think it was Jade Simmons who said it. Yeah. But for that one, basically, I have thought about quitting coaching about 1 million times over the course of the past 3 years, just because times get hard. It's hard to get consistent or, keep up the momentum with posting and with inviting and all that stuff. It's not easy. It's work. And I've always had divorce on the table. Like, oh, I could always quit. I can always step back and not do what I feel called to do. So when she said that, I was like, all right, divorce is off the table. I'm not going to keep that in the back of my mind as an option because I know that this is something that God has called me to. Whatever it looks like, even if it looks like just impacting, 1 life or 5 lives or 100 lives. I'm still called to do this as my mission. So divorce is off the table. And that is all.
You're so good. I love that she ended up coming and staying. Like, it was so good. And then like Rebecca Huff ended up coming up and staying too because she was like, I can't miss it. And she couldn't be here tonight because there's a swim meet, but she's going to do a live in the team page to share her takeaways. But I love that you talked about the taking divorce off the table. What I've learned is when it wasn't an option anymore, when things get really crappy, then you have to get creative, because it's like, okay, I can't quit. So now I got to figure out how to make this work. And like Angie even said, even if it changed like your life, like, or the ways it already has, like, but I didn't remember that quote from Tracy. I'm so glad you shared that one. I wrote it down again. The transformation doesn't happen on your team until it happens in your heart. It's so true. You know what I mean? And so really, really good stuff, girl. I'm glad that you were able to stay. That was good. And no babies were born during the super workout. Who would like to go next?
I can share a couple things. I'd be happy to. Honestly, there was so much good that's already been said that I could echo, because I was blown away by Jade Simmons. Guys, she's worth looking up on Instagram, because she did some phenomenal things, and it just gave me chills. And she wrote down so much good stuff. Like, I felt like I was holding a baby and scrambling to write all at the same time, because it was amazing. And I loved where she talked about, you're not called to impress, you're called to impact. And that was so good. But she said that, like, you have to embrace resurrection and parts of yourself that you laid down in the interest of focus, because there's so many things that we set aside in order to focus on family or, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I love how she married the two, rather than laying down what she felt was her calling because of what classical music says you need to be. Instead, she resurrected it and made it into something new. And looking at the parts of you that need to make a comeback, that really hit me. I was over the moon I took my 12-year-old with me to help with the baby. And she got to be in the room for Tracy's training, and she got to come to some things, and she got to be privy to just being with the grown-ups kind of thing. And we had a lot of really good conversation. And so that's kind of a personal thing. But I'm hoping that it gives her kind of the bigger picture of what I do, because that's kind of what Summit has been for me. This was my third Summit. So I signed up like 5 minutes before Summit. I didn't even know what a coach was, and everybody was at Summit. So I didn't go to that first one. And then I went, and then I didn't go last summer. But it does such amazing things for belief and the bigger picture of the company, and just being with these people that you normally only see on a Zoom does so much to solidify that. Like, it overshadows every person who says, you know, you just friended me to make a sale, because you get to see, like, that's all the way to the top. That's not what this company is about. And you get to hear the trainers talk, and that's not what this company is about. And then you get to fangirl all the people that you follow all year long, because you just run into them randomly on the street. And, you know, I'm like, Angie, that's Melanie Mitro. And she's like, oh my gosh, you know, like, so like, you get to run into people, which is kind of cool. And you kind of fangirl, and that's okay, because that they changed your life, and that's really genuine. It's not just somebody that you listen to on the radio, you know, it's somebody who's had a very real and raw and personal impact on your life. But the one thing professionally that struck me the most was this concept of not leaving your dinner party to go look for more guests. And so you have invited all of these people to a fancy dinner party, and they're all sitting down at your table, aka your challenge group, and you get up and leave and go outside into the street looking for more people to come in. And I was like, ooh, yeah. You know, like, hitting SC every month, having new challengers, you can't maintain a business. Forget growing. You can't maintain a business if you don't have new people coming in. It's not possible. So you have to do that. But the idea of, where am I serving the best? Am I saving my best lives for my page? or for my challengers? Am I checking in and following up more with prospects or with my challengers? If I have this dinner party, am I sitting down at the table present with my guests, or am I ignoring them and looking for new people to come in? And that really struck me, just as where I put my focus and my attention. Because one of the things that struggled for me in this season, we all have a limited amount of time. We all have the same 24 hours, but I have struggled with what to put my focus on a lot lately, and trying to make sure that I put my limited available time in the right place. And so that one really struck me.
I love that you mentioned that one, because it's so true. It's like, spend your hour doing your power hour, but then take the other times, and like, if you're a Facebook scroller, be scrolling in your challenge group, not on Facebook. You know what I mean? So that way they are getting the best of you.
Right. And I did a ton of invites earlier this week, but today when I was working, I messaged every single person in my challenge group about how they want to finish July, and went into my challenge group and explained in my group why I have the team name that I do. Because I don't think I've ever done that. I don't think I've ever shared that with my challengers. And I went in and I talked about several things, but that was part of it too. And I was like, I don't think I've ever shared that with these people. And it was really good.
I love that. I'm like, ooh, that's a good idea. So awesome. So awesome. It was neat having Maria there too. It was neat seeing like legacy, having little kiddos.
Yeah.
Big little kiddos present. Definitely.
I agree. That was really something that, I mean, I wouldn't have brought her if I didn't need some help with the baby. Like if I had a little baby, or if I could leave my baby at home, I don't think I would have brought her. But I'm grateful that it all lined up that way so that she could come and kind of get a view of it. And she got to meet her like ever-loving hero in Mr. Tony Horton. Like,
that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all the fangirling, y'all. Like the Joel and the Autumn and the Melanie and the Tony and the...
I met Jericho too.
Jericho and all of them. Just all of them. It's like Disney for adults. You wait in line for the non-large head scary thing. It's like a real person who's... Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was excited for our picture with Tony. Alrighty, who's next?
I think I'm the last one.
Okay.
Finally, Killian's not wailing. Captain America might have gone for a fast ride across my bedroom at some point tonight. Anyways, this summit was my first summit, and that was fun. Elizabeth was there because of me. Okay, let me just tell you this. I like the ish storm hit right before summit, where like I was so excited to go, couldn't wait to see everyone, and then I'm like getting all my plans ready, and no, we didn't. And then we Killian is killing me. Okay. Anyways, I sent my itinerary to my friend who I was going to visit right before summit started, and she's like, "Wait a minute, you aren't coming to Indy? Like, where she lives?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" And I looked at it, and it said freaking Kentucky on it, and I was like, "No!" I literally like every insecurity passed through my mind at like full speed, because like, for example, I studied abroad in college, but like I was the follower. Like I didn't plan my own trips. I didn't know where we were going. Like I just walked behind everybody else. Like I love my husband because he is very much a leader and I am not. Like, but it hit me and I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I a coach? Like, I'm supposed to be this leader for people. I can't even get to the freaking event. Like, what is wrong with me? And I was like mortified at myself. And I like didn't want to tell anybody, but I obviously had to. And then Elizabeth saved the day and let me spend the night at her house. and got me to Indy because I was flying into close to our house. So, and it was awesome. You know, when I first started listening to the talks, and of course, like seeing everybody was just like the highlight, honestly. The talks were great, but the highlight was just being with everybody in person. Like, it was just amazing. And you just get to like we get to know each other. I think when we power hour together and we get to like make comments about things, you get to kind of experience people's personalities. But like when you're experiencing when you're getting cranky and when, you know, things happen, you just kind of, the thing that I really like about this community is like, we don't gossip about each other. We don't talk bad about each other. Like, we serve each other. It doesn't matter what we gain or lose from it. We do it because we love each other. And like, you just get in the room with these people and you like just get to know them better, and you get to see them and see what makes them tick and what makes them laugh more. And I loved that. But then like the theme I think was really perfect for me because the talks, I would say nothing like super hit me like, oh my gosh, I've never heard that before. Nothing was like that for me. I mean, it was good to like be hit over the head again. But when I saw like the recognitions were like first happening, like all the elite coaches and diamonds and I was like, oh, this is so freaking annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I was like sour about it. And I just saw like so many coaches there and so many bleach blonde girls. And I was like, but recently before Summit, I've been thinking a lot about, yeah, you have to dye your hair to be on that stage. Just kidding. No, before Summit, I was really thinking and being really moved to just like be myself, to like, you know, it's okay to be myself. And I'm 2 years into this business and I know what advice to take from people and what advice to take as a suggestion. And I am a rule follower, and it's really hard for me not to do what everybody says. But when you do what everybody says, you don't do anything because you're following too many paths. And I finally was starting to realize that like there's a place for me to be me and not like anybody else. And there's a place for me to follow the directions, like doing all the things, like, you know, inviting people. And I have felt that pull ever since day one, but never felt comfortable enough because I'm such a rule follower. And I was so scared of just like the failure, you know. And I think it's also easier to blame somebody else. Like, oh, well, this is what I was supposed to do and it's not working. You know what I mean? But when you step out on your own and say, this is the way I'm doing things, and if it doesn't work, that's on me, you know? And so I'm seeing all these coaches there and getting kind of sour about it. But then I realized like that kind of theme that's been playing in my head recently. I was like, well, of course there's thousands of coaches here, and that's amazing because each of them are unique and each of them can influence other people's lives just like I can. Like I can be just as successful as any of those people up on that stage. I have to be true to myself. I have to give the gift that I am to other people. And that just kind of like, I don't know, it was like a 1-day transition or like a 3-day transition. And by the time the top coach was, you know, celebrated on the stage on the last night, I was like, I don't even want that many, like 900 coaches in 1 year or something. Like, I was like, I actually don't want that, at least not right now. Like, I value the way I do things right now, and I'm proud of the way I do things right now. And yeah, so that was like my big personal thing. I have to remember what I was going to share for my business one. Oh, this was it. It was like they had like a top coach panel, and they were talking about like when you get objections and what do you say when somebody says they don't have enough money to be a coach. And they were like, well, great, I'm giving you a job. And I was like, damn, like, exactly. And so it's kind of transitioned my follow-ups, not my invites, but my follow-ups with people when they're like, well, life's so crazy, or I'm not there, and not just the money objection, but like reminding me that like the obvious answers, even if like I'm scared of them not getting to where I'm promising them that they'll be, it still rings as true. Like, this is a freaking job. And if I present it that way, they know that it's going to take work. This is a job. This isn't a hobby. I mean, it can be, but if you need something to make money, or you need to cover your cost, or you need, you can't just put around and waste your time and spend money on crap, then it's a job. You know what I mean? And so when you tell somebody, I'm sorry, you don't have enough money to do this business, well, you can make it, and, um, even when somebody says like, well, I don't have enough time to take care of myself. Well, you're going to just keep living the same life. You know what I mean? Like, it's just speaking more boldly to people and kind of calling them out for their excuses and not taking people's crap anymore, and I think, I want to be a people pleaser, but I also have a little fire in me, and, it's okay to like gently call people out on that, and be like, BS. If you want to accept your BS and keep it and go down that road, sure, I'll still be here. I always remind people now, like, it's okay, not time right now. I'll be here forever, but like, otherwise they can be like, oh, you're right, so that's all I got.
You're awesome. And we got you, girl, with your flying. When I saw your itinerary, when you sent it to me, I was like, so you're funny because you were all those doubts. And I was like, oh crap, was she supposed to sleep at my house? Because I told her one time she could stay at my house. Did she fly? Like, so then I'm blaming myself because that's my, and then I was like, wait, no, it all worked out. Like, it all worked out, and I love that. I love what you're sharing about, we do serve one another, and I do love the integrity of this team. And yeah, so good. So good. I'm glad that you were there, and thank you to your hubs for letting you come. Yeah, this was just good, and Danielle's in New York because she's like Carmen Sandiego and she's always traveling. I don't even know if everyone knows who Carmen Sandiego is. Yeah, probably not. Oh, you do? Okay, Emily knows.
Just you and me and Angie.
And there's a new one.
Wait,
so
Emily Stuggy knows. Emily Stuggy knows. But they're going to go live and share their takeaways. And I'll ask Megan Mooney to do the same. She's kind of in transit and probably wedding mode because her sister's getting married this weekend. So is that right? This weekend, isn't it, Megan? Yeah. But y'all, I just feel blessed. Like, I'm just, yeah, I'm going to close this out in prayer, but I went into therapy this morning and I sat down on the couch and she's like, you look so happy. I'm like, I am. And she's like, what? Tell me about your week. And I just was talking and talking. And then she was asking.
It's the haircut.
The haircut that freaked me out this morning because it's all gone. She said, but she started asking me about like, well, tell me more about what you do. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm pitching my therapist. But she just wanted, but I was talking about the community and the growth and the changes and why this summit was so good. And compared to last summits, how I see every summit, more growth and more joy. And she said, have you ever heard of Isagenix? And I was like, yeah. She said, so how do you compare them? I'm like, I don't, because I don't read ingredients, but I can tell you about, but it was funny. I felt like I told her about the whole gamut of our product line in our therapy session. So, but the confidence that was there, it was like, I wasn't afraid of it. And in the past I would have been like, and even I was starting to think like, oh, don't say something stupid, Kelly. I'm like, she's just asking me what I do, and it's like you were saying, Megan, like, just like having confidence, like, this is what I do. Like, I'm not going to shame, I told her, I'm not going to shame another company. I just don't think anyone else matches the integrity of the products we have based on what I've seen, but the joy she's seen, Courtney saw it when he came in our retreat last year. Like, he came in to get snacks and he tried to sneak into the kitchen and we were all like laughing and having a good time. And he was like, a part of him I think felt a little sad because he was like, man, I wish sometimes I could, make you laugh like that. But then he also realized, no, there's different parts of our life. Like he definitely makes me laugh, but there's like a joy that this team brings into my life. And as I'm hearing, and my hope is it does for you, of just this community and place of growth. And so I loved it when Michael Neiman said this. So if you can get to a Super Saturday open house event the weekend of the 27th, he said they're not pitching it as a business opportunity. It's just an opportunity. It's an opportunity for growth, for health, for financial success, for business, for community. Like there's so much in this opportunity. And that's the shift the company has made of saying you belong here over and over. You matter. You belong here, because comparison does rob us of momentum, and it also robs us of joy. And so it wasn't, there was none of that. Like for me, this summit, it was more excited for the coaches that got rank advance this past year, and the joy of thinking of y'all walking across the stage and celebrating you guys when you rank advance and hit your goals. And it's kind of would be like the cool part of it being in New Orleans is like, that's the last time I walked across the stage. So to be able to sit and watch y'all walk across the Superdome stage would be amazing. And just gratitude, and so please try to make your best effort to come. I went live in the summit event and shared some advice on hotels and saving. Like, I think if you want to go to summit, regardless if you want to go to summit with your business, make a goal to put $20 to $5 aside a month for business stuff, like, or $50 if you can. I put a certain amount out of every paycheck in a savings account, and it's my Beachbody event savings account. So if there's a retreat, that's where it comes out of. If it's for summit, it was already there. So I didn't have to worry when I got to summit this year of like how I was going to pay for it. And it gives me the opportunity to say yes and not feel stuck, and so a girl who changes her hair, that's what it said on the wall at the salon by Coco Chanel. Girl who changes her hair is about to change her life. But I appreciate you guys being here tonight, and I'm excited. Next week, our team call, it's our guest speaker, Emily McHenry. She is amazing, had left her preschool teaching job this year to stay home to coach, and she's going to share her story. So I will be on from New Orleans. I got to remember the time change. But if you guys need anything in the meantime, the Emerald Thread is kicking and rocking, and there's lots of help there going on. The 12:30 Zooms are going on. And if you have questions, I feel like Summit's next month because we're like, go to Summit, and we just left. But there's just a lot of hype and excitement right now. And yeah, 14,000 coaches have already signed up, which is amazing. So thank you guys for being here and for being a part of this team and in the mission that we have. So let's close in prayer. Heavenly Father, I am so thankful and happy and blessed and grateful, Lord, for this team. You have done such great works in our lives, just healing and guiding and calling us. Lord, each of us has a different gift or flavor you would call us to bring to this team and to the community. We each have unique things about us that you have stirred within us, Lord, these gifts, these talents, the gifts of compassion and joy and of helping and inspiring and leading. And they complement one another, Lord. And I just pray that you would continue to unify us as a team, that we can be a true light in the Beachbody culture of truth and goodness and beauty. And that you can help us to know how to listen, Lord, to listen for the need, to serve well, to help women through this opportunity to find financial freedom and, freedom and comfort in their skin and a deeper calling and purpose in their life and in their mission, and experience real joy through the process. And I give so much thanks that we're here. And I pray for all of those who couldn't be here tonight. I pray for our future team members that will be joining us this year, and Thanksgiving for them, and for all of the challengers that we get to serve on a daily basis. I pray for our CEO, Carl Deichler, and for his entire staff of corporate, that you continue to guide them and give them a good and discerning heart to do what is best for us always. And I give thanks for the leaders like Tracy Morrow, who's just poured so much into the foundation of our team. And that I just ask, Lord, that you bless her and help her to continue to guide us as an organization. And I just give thanks for Summer and Rebecca and just the ways that they have provided a path for us. And Lord, I just ask that you help me to lead well, and that the leaders who are in the cathedral builders and the leaders who are rising up, there's just so much, Lord, to be thankful for. It's overwhelming in a good way. And I just can't stop and say thank you enough. Lord, bless us, help us. For those of us going through rough waters, I pray that you would calm the waters, that you would show us peace in the storm, that you would guide us in our goals, that you would give us this discipline and obedience to do the things, the hard things each day to help us to reach our goals in our health, in our business. And I just pray against any of the lies of the enemy that tell us we're not enough, or that we don't belong, or that we can't do this, or it doesn't work. Like, I pray against all of that. I pray for unity in our homes. I pray for healing in our families. And I just give you thanks, Lord. And we offer all these things in your most holy name. Amen. Sorry, I feel like I could pray for like an hour tonight because I'm just like rolling with it, but we got to take a picture so we can post something on Instagram. So hold on. Y'all might have already done it, but I was on speaker mode, so I couldn't take a big picture. So everybody smile. Hold on. Did I push the button? Okay, I did. All right, y'all. Have a blessed night. Thank you so much.